designed to connect 1G. Sa 3G, pwede ka nang mag-internet kahit di ka
I'm not sure with these standings. It
Mhm.
seems like they do.
Mm, let's see. So Boom has this series. This is their last series. If they get a clean 2-0, I'm I'm actually not sure if that brings them
This
up
point system
like
confuses the
beyond.
crap out of me. I'll
Yeah,
tell you,
it
Jeff.
it, it, it is because if they get a 2-0, on paper they look better than Neon because Neon's 252. That would make
Right.
Boom go 270, right? So they
Right.
haven't dropped the series. I think they're gonna have to 2-0 for that chance for that, and even then, if they don't, then that's it. So it has to be a 2-0, and then they have to wait for how Adroit does in their last series as well, and that's when it starts to hammer in.
So you're
But
telling me
for
it's
now,
complicated.
yeah, it's very complicated because
Okay.
of how
All
these
right.
things weigh out. I'm not good at the stats, Mike.
All right. All right. Well, we should really probably go learn this system. Anyway,
No.
draft has begun. Vengeful Spirit Timbersaw is there for Boom Esports. Adroit, they have gone for the classic Mag PA. That never seems to get old with the name Adroit, right? Like, no matter who's in the side of Adroit, Mag PA is always a big deal for that team, and they do get it for themselves. But now Boom Esports, they change things up a bit. The Shadow Demon pops up, which is something I can't really say I was expecting, but it is a nice way of dealing with the Phantom Assassin, especially in the laning stage, just spamming out Shadow Poison and just being annoying in that way. And of course, in future picks, they could get something that needs a setup for a stun or a skill, some kind of skill shot. Shadow Demon with the Disruption is kind of the guy that sets that up. But Adroit, they take the Phoenix.
Yeah, it's a steady pickup for them. Combines well with a Magnus. So you've got RP plus Egg in play here for Adroit. That is looking pretty potent. If you catch out the right heroes, you've got some form of healing now for your PA as well. So that's pretty nice to have. It still remains to be seen what Adroit wants to do with a Magnus. It still could just be our Boomy hero with CML in the Phoenix. I think that's pretty feasible. Just a bit, maybe a bit greedy as supports, but Adroit doesn't seem to mind the greedier support picks. Boom, you mentioned it with the Shadow Demon. They've got an opportunity to go for a setup. That would mean that they might look for the Timbersaw shift out to mid, but it really depends. They go to Troll first, so they get that Dreamo Cell hero up here. And, that's a pretty nice hero to have on hand up against something like the PA. You naturally build into an MKB. You've got range to play with. You've got built-in root. So you've got a way to control this PA. Always nice to have. And it's going to be an interesting back and forth because this could force our PA to go into her own MKB because of the missed chance from the troll. So you've got to watch that back and forth there. Adroit, though, Invoker picked up. So Mag PA Invoker, they could play with Cataclysm. Really great team fight here once you get the RP Tornado EMP, but you have to land those spells. So it's all about nailing that initiation, nailing the spell use, and that can be tricky, especially with how Boom plays. They tend to just be all over the place sometimes.
That is true, John. It's going to be a very intriguing game with the drafts that have come out, though, that's for sure. Does leave Boom, though. They do still need their mid pickup. So Makoto, still lacking his own hero, is once again going to have another team banning out TA up against Boom Esports in that last banning phase, which can't say I'm very surprised. Nobody wants to play up against the Makoto TA, which is fair enough. And for what I feel like is the third time today, I do feel like this could be another good puck game for Makoto if he did want to take it, because you are kind of lacking that big crowd control right now. Boom would probably enjoy having a low cooldown Dream Coil to be able to spam out with their already high tempo kind of draft. What are Adroit going to get rid of, though?
I mean, they don't have the best heroes to hold something like the Puck, but they also don't have the best heroes to hold something like the Spirit Brothers here as well. So I think they've got to be worried about these high mobility heroes coming out. They take out the Wind Ranger instead because of that Venge presence, but Boom just immediately take out the Doom because it looks like they are suspecting that the Nico hero is going to come out last. So we'll see what comes out. Adroit does have to pick first, which means they've got to reveal what they want to do with Magnus fairly quickly here. And Boom's going to have some time to respond, adjust their lanes if they want to, and really dig in for that Mikado pickup here.
Absolutely. They're going to have a think about it, though. 1 minute 40 seconds reserve time left here for Adroit. I wouldn't mind seeing something else in the off lane. I don't necessarily like the support mag, but Pos 3 mag hasn't felt amazing either. And there's the Sand King coming out, so that's what Adroit want to run. They go back to the Sand King. some really nice team fight here, in all fairness to the side of Adroit. As much as we like to bring up the fact that Sand King hasn't felt very strong in a long time, in terms of team fight, it's definitely there.
Oh yeah. I mean, they've got RP, Burrow Strike, Epicenter, Invoker, and Phoenix on top. Boom do take the DK, so
Wow.
looks like it is going to be the mid DK up against the Invoker. That's a very stable lane for Mikado. Not very exciting, but in a way, you've got a Venge combination, right? So you get added range in your Dragon form. FBZ's going to be playing on his Timber Saw. And of course, for Adroit, you mentioned it, but Nico Sand King comes out here. Boomy Mag, as we're used to seeing. Going to be an interesting back and forth. A bit of a different draft for Boom. Definitely doesn't feel, excuse me, as explosive here for Boom Esports. But Adroit, it's fairly greedy. You know, you've got the Sand King, you've got the Magnus, you've got a Phoenix. All three of those heroes need a lot of EXP, and two of them are support. So one of them's going to have to take the backseat. Never a good feeling for either side, and they're going to have to make it work somehow.
Let's see how it all does pan out. This is going to be game number 1 of this best of 2. I want to say Boom won a 2-0, John, but I don't know anymore with these groups. So we're just going to wait and see what happens after this, I suppose. Adroit showing up for the first time today. Obviously would like to start their day off in a positive fashion by getting a 2-0 victory themselves. Yeah, it would be very nice. I was going to say
Definitely would
with that last pick DK, I know you already pointed out the fact that there is the Venge combination with that DK now, but there is a lot of magic damage to do with Makoto this game, it feels like.
Yeah, there definitely is. Like, Invoker alone is already a lot. You've got this Phoenix, you've got the Sand King, you've got the usual build-up for the Sand King into the Veil as well. So that's probably going to be coming out here, and they're going to have to find a way to protect Mikado. Perhaps he's just going to look for the fast BKB build-up anywhere, as we've seen from some DKs. You know, just blink BKB, force those fights early, clear objectives, kind of play that kind of game. I think that is probably what we're going to be expecting here for Mikado. But this is definitely, you know, it's been a while since we've seen Mikado DK, I think. Like, we've seen DK a couple of times, but yeah.
Sorry, John. You sound like you're dying in the background. I thought maybe I should just interrupt while you have a sip of Monster or something. You sound like you're dying right now.
I have no clue what it is. You know, sometimes, see, I get this problem sometimes, where I accidentally inhale in the wrong pipe. Like, you know, I
Yeah.
get some droplets in,
Yeah.
so I start dying. It just doesn't clear out for a few minutes. Because it's just stuck in the wrong pipe. You know, my body can't work itself, apparently. Breathing's too hard, Mike. It's difficult.
It is difficult, John. I do agree. Boomy, don't walk up that way, sir. It is dangerous. You'll be alright. They didn't have the magic missile up on Kezcute yet, and it looks like they probably wouldn't have found a kill anyway. The skewer was already leveled up on Boomy.
Ooh. Look at this. CML, he got the sentry ward right down in front of Mikado, so he's got an opportunity to go for it, but I think Mikado might just want to go for the deny play
Oh, for
at
sure.
some point.
He's waiting for CML to hit it once, so he can deny it off. CML won't move. He goes for it now. Makoto denies it away. There you go. Nice play from Makoto. It's that awkward moment where both of you know that both of you know, but you've got to wait and try to act as if you don't know. You know, like we're not. I'm here for no reason. I just like being in the mid lane as a Phoenix. You know, I'm not trying to de-ward or anything, Mr. Makoto. Please don't de-ward the observe ward you just placed.
Yeah, and that's going to give a little bit more room for Mac here, at the least. Like, you still take out the vision. Mikado's going to be a bit blind. Mac's going to be able to maybe work this early level. This is when the DK's not as annoying, and it's when the Invoker should have a decent time to sustain himself, but it's not going to hold out for long, and in the end, this mid lane should develop into a bit of a back-and-forth farming lane, unless the supports come in, which in the past few games today, we haven't seen much. So if it's just going to be a farming lane, I think Mikado's already going to be happy with that. As, you know, a DK that free farms early does get an earlier ramp up to Blink, and that's much more significant for a DK than, what, an early Midas for the Invoker, really depending on what Matt wants. So they're going to have to watch the DK here and be aware that an early start for a DK means faster tower smelting.
Look at this, up at the top lane though, John. Very interesting position for the lane to be in, and well, the PA courier was coming in, but needs to just back off as FBZ is there farming. Boomy gonna drag FBZ into the tier 2 tower, and that is a lot of damage as Kescu does quickly pause. Apparently we have a bug going on here. Fair enough. I hope they realize the lane position here is not the bug. It's this is kind of how Dota can work sometimes. But Makoto, or rather, excuse me, FBZ is copping a lot of damage from this tier 2 tower. I don't think he's gonna die by any stretch, as Boomy doesn't have any way to lock him down. But he is gonna get very low.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be a pleasant time. Level 1, Timbersaw is probably his weakest point. Even level 2 is just kind of meh. So FBZ's got to be cautious. He doesn't want to die here. If you had some help, that might be a kill, but it's going to be a bit tricky still. Good movement out from Boomy, and this is what we talked about. You know, Boomy loves playing on net Magnus. He loves just having this here on hand. It does set the pace for Adroit. So what we're looking for here beyond just laning for Boomy is him getting some stacks come mid-game. Around the 10-minute marks when they start to give Boomy a lane to play in, or at least a jungle to play in, to save up for his blink. And we'll see if he's going to be able to get that done, but ooh.
FBZ is dead. Okay, I thought it was going to be 2 hits from the tier 2 tower, but turns out it got an extra hit in just on the tail end. That's a lot of damage and a great play out from Boomy early on.
That's exactly what they want. This is a greedier draft from Adroit. We've seen it falter in the early game, but if they get off to a start like this, get an early level 2 in Boomy, then he's got a lot more harassment to put out. So you've got to be careful, Boom. Just get these slow build up to your level 2, level 3 spikes, and you can recover this lane. Still, they are going to pressure MCY, and that's the one here they've left alone. And even if MCY did get some free space, it's still not amazing farm here. 3-2 for the PA. They're going to have to find a way to get MCY caught up, which is going to be really slow with Boomy's mag. Like, this is just the nature of Adroit's draft.
Dreamersaw was getting very low, but Kescu is actually going to be the one to find the kill here. He does kill off CML. And Dreamersaw does successfully get himself out on the troll. Very nice little play there down at the bot lane. To find the kill here, he
tricky
does
back
kill
and
off
forth
CML.
for both sides. Like, there's a lot of magic damage here from
Dreamersaw
Adroit.
does successfully
Nico,
get
if he gets the
himself
stun,
out
and
on
if
the
he plays
troll.
with his caustic finality quite well, then the troll's going to have to watch his spacing farming. At the same time, you don't want to start getting bashed up, getting the whirling axis on top. With his venture around with a minus armor and stun, it can be devastating as well. So both sides are going to watch your spacing a bit. It is a fairly good start for Dreamocell. Not only did they find a kill, but he is doing well in last assault.
Dreamersaw, careful sir. Nico didn't have the Burrow Strike available at the time, and I'm kind of switching between the top and bot lane right now, John, as both position ones are very, very low in terms of HP. FBZ doing a pretty good job of keeping MCY on his toes, and we have another pause coming out, this time from Mac. Of course, we know yesterday, I believe it was, John, Adroit were having a lot of internet connection issues. Hopefully, that does not repeat for today.
Yeah, hopefully not, because again, they've got back-to-back series, so you would rather not encounter those. Still, you mentioned it, just aggressive lanes coming out now. You can see Boomy really laying it onto Hyde, just trying to get as much as possible, but the stacks are building up. Gotta be a bit careful.
Yeah, Hyde's going to just salve up and accept the fact that he's not going to get the kill on Boomy. Again, both position ones are suffering right now, but Dreamersaw is suffering a bit more. Down at the bot lane, Kescu with the magic missile going to stop the Sun Ray, but Nico had the damage output with the Sand King. The Caustic Finale. In fact, it wasn't even that. I believe it was a Fire Spirit doing the last tick of damage, so CML gets the kill on the Phoenix.
Yeah, it's exactly what you want to see for Adroit. They're working out their lanes. They've been applying aggression. The fact that they're finding the kills and Boom is not does give them a nice advantage, and that's exactly what you want to see. Now, the one thing that they haven't really gotten full control of are those power runes. Mikado has managed to take control at least of the illusion, but he doesn't have a bottle, so it's not as pivotal here, as Mikado can't really get anything done there, but they have really left this mid lane alone, which means it's going to be an even start, which means honestly, really, the DK is probably going to enjoy that. Like, he's going to get 6 at a good time, and Mac will as well, but it's not as big of a power spike. You've got to watch this first Dragon form here for Mikado and prevent him from really applying too much pressure in that mid-tier 1.
That they do. Down at the bot lane. Bit of a fight over those 5-minute bounty runes, but in the end, Kesku does take it. CML will take the one to the north. And it does end up being a 2 for 2 anyway, so very even trade on those bounties. Boomy managed to snag one away at the top lane, so I think is just perfectly fine here, as we do still have a 1 to 2. In the mid lane, however, Mac needs to be somewhat cautious now as Makoto does pop the dragon form and get started with some damage. We will see Hyde starting with the Shadow Poison spam onto Mac. It seems like they don't even want to try for the Invoker kill, but they want that tier 1 mid tower, and in fact they're going to find CML here. He does have the Icarus dive, but he is not going to make it in time. Makoto does have the damage output back into the mid lane where Mac, he was trying to get something done onto Hyde, but it is not going to work out that way. He is just stuck trying to defend this tier 1, which is going down at quite a quick pace. Nico, Baron Strike onto Hyde, he'll disrupt, but he should definitely be dying here, Hyde. He's trying to run away, but they do have the damage output with Mac. And Makoto, he doesn't quite finish off that tier 1 tower, but he has left it within deny range. That'll mean Mac and Nico just go ahead and deny it off. But if you're Boom Esports, you're still pretty happy with the fact that that tower is gone.
Yeah, and that's just on the first dragon form, so Mikado's already highly efficient and melting those towers. And we talked about this timing. DK6, melt mid-tier 1, will allow more movement across the map and maybe start to shut down some farm. Although, Adroit, they're not resting easy. They're actually trying to circle around FBZ.
Yeah, FBZ trying to be aggressive onto MCY now, realizing he needs to get out, but the Baron Strike going to cancel off the chains. That's a big whirling death out onto 4 heroes, but FBZ is going to comp the EMP, does stick charge up. He's trying to work this one out. The Epicenter comes through, and that'll make it so he does finally go down. In fact, it's Mac that picks up the kill on the Invoker. But it took 4 heroes to get that done. And we've got to remember, John, while all this is happening, Dreamercell is freely farming on this troll, and he is well and truly ahead of the PA in terms of farm.
Yeah, and that's just not what you want to see. Dreamercell getting this kind of free start can really start to take over.
Boomy.
However, Adroit... Oh.
Yeah, Boomy gets caught out here. He's going to go down easily, and it looks like Boom now want to try and set up for that top tier 1 tower.
And that's going to be a really quick tower for them to take. Like, without the epicenter here for Nico, there's not much damage for them to play with, and Mikado's just standing in front, chipping away. Now, Adroit do have the Empower play to at least get it, but Nico...
Oh, he's going to get stunned up. Does try to Burrow Strike, but it is not going to be enough. They'll chase him down. And Boom Esports look very, very dominant already in this game. Number 1 now. They'll get another tier 1 tower, and all their tier 1 towers are still standing.
Yeah. It's, again, Adroit, they're kind of... This is one weakness of Adroit, right? They do draft the PA Mag, they go to the Invoker. They don't have the best push. They've got really good team fight, but not much push. Now, they are putting MCY down bot, but there's an immediate response here. Mikado does not want to drop this tower, and his body alone is going to dissuade any further progression there. They just do not have the damage to deal with him yet.
Top lane, Nico needs to be somewhat cautious, but he's going to turn around and try to go on to Kesku. Only problem is his Burrow Strike is still level 2, so he can't really keep up. Meanwhile, Mac will drain the mana of FBZ, but that's really all he does. FBZ is still going to be able to pop a Clarity and be fine. Has the Arcane Boots up now as well as a Soul Ring, so he's already preemptively gotten ready for this Invoker. He has multiple ways of just getting his mana pool back up after a bad EMP. And that's classic FBZ for you. He knows how to run the Timbersaw very nicely.
That he does. And, you know, this is about the point where you start to expect the Timbersaw to make space in the map, start playing between the tier 2, tier 3 perhaps, or just forcing out a wave constantly. So right now we'll have to always toss a hero up
acting weird, John. There's been a bit of frame drops going on. I'm not sure what Valve's been up to today, but I feel like there's another update coming any moment now.
Oh no. Well, we haven't been hit yet. It's been a slower day in terms of updates. It's always pleasant to see. I have no clue what they do with these 1.5 MB updates. I really, really have no clue what could possibly drop in with 1.5 MB worth of code. Still, we'll see if that's going to be the case. You never know,
Kodo.
right? Yeah.
Oh, he's found a big target here. John Mack is caught out. He is not going to have the Ghost Walk. He does eventually get it off from Makoto. He had the last hit out. He gets him. And up towards that top lane. Look at the aggression here from Boom Esports. Dropping a sentry. There goes your Sand King. Nico does go down. And they are not giving any breathing room away to Adroit. They're not giving them any time. Hyde's being chased by Boomy. He will end up dying to MCY, but that's all they're going to get for their trouble. Oh boy. Yeah, CML TP'd into the wrong part of town, it seems. Mac is going to join in as well with Boomy there. They're going to try. They have the RP, but how do you fight right now? FBZ comes in. Boomy's gone. Now the stun out. Makoto finds another initiation off. FBZ with the Chakram. He does Ghost Walk away, and FBZ's out of mana anyway, but MCY, that is a very scary position, sir. Nico's going to jump in with a Burrow Strike. Cold Snap onto Makoto, but he's going to be swapped out by Kezcute, and there's the kill they can take. They'll go after Kezcute.
It's not the kill they want in the end, but it's the kill they'll have to settle for. Boom, again, making short work on this map. Now the map's shrinking. They've got these really good forward wards from Boom to watch the farming patterns of Adroit. They still need to build up in this PA. It does look like the Deso Rush is in for MCY. So he understands he's got to play aggressive. He has the Empower anyway. He doesn't need much more. They are very close to Boomy finding his Blink. So that tends to be the power spike for Adroit. When Boomy does find his initiation tool, he does deliver. So maybe a bit more patience. They're not too far behind. Just a 2k lead for Boom. But the map control is worrying. You know, the fact that they've lost their tier 2 so fast, and that's sub 13 minutes. That means a significant part of the map is just not that safe. And they need to watch the movements of Boom Boom. They're pretty satisfied here. Dream Assault still saving up towards that Battle Fury. Is very close to it. And once you have that up as a troll, this farming game gets better and better for the troll. They're still hitting major spikes for FBZ. Is going to have his Hood of Defiance sent into the Ults next. Get more ways to avoid combinations here from Adroit. And even Mikado, he went for Blink first, but is actually going back for the Midas. So just feeling confident here on the side of Boom.
That they are. I mean, I don't know about this Midas pickup. To be honest with you, John, it's looking a bit, you know, it's a spicy pick to go for Makoto. Maybe one would argue pretty greedy of the man. I guess it does give you one way of eating through the Forge Spirits of Mac, but he hasn't even got those up yet. Meanwhile, Kezcute did get picked off there by MCY and Mac. Now they've spotted out Makoto, but can they get through his HP? Well, that is some quick reactions out from Makoto. He was right out of there.
They didn't get that first stick of damage. A bit of hesitation there from Boomy. Maybe a casual right click would have done it, but you're going to be happy now if you're Boom. You only sacrifice your Venge, and the Battle Fury is finally up, so you can stall as much as possible now, although.
FBZ, he's a tough target. He is a very tough target. Kezcute gonna swap him out anyway, and Boomy just needs to run, but Kezcute, another great swap out onto Boomy. He will die, and it looks like the Tornado might be enough though. No, Makoto, he's gonna jump in. They drop the X straight off the bat, but there's no Fire Spirits. Maybe that Deafening Blast will be enough. Can they get the last attack in? Yeah, they can. Just the nick of time. But Nico, he's in with the Epicenter onto Hyde, but he is gonna disrupt, and he's gonna be just fine as Nico now does not want to be here. He wants to run out of there, but it looks like he might not have a chance, or maybe he does know. Dream Assault, the Axis followed him up the hill, and they did not miss either. It's a 4-for-1 trade. Definitely not very good if you are the side of Adroit.
No, you're losing these trades badly. It's it's getting rough. Like, you had positioning there for Boom to get an RP, but he just kept getting swapped. Kezcute understood what he had to do. Isolate the Magnus, split up, and force Adroit in a very awkward spot. So now they are down Egg, they're down Epi. They only have RP, but that could be enough. They don't really have good targets. They might go for a tier 1 push down bot. Again, not the highest value target anymore, considering what they've already dropped in the map. Boom will just use this time to farm. Dreamo Cell with Battle Fury. I mean, it's, you're seeing the PA catch up, but Dreamo Cell can now kind of keep up pace with that Desolator and Empower now. It's not going to be a complete wash, not going to be, an overtake by MCY. They're just going to stay even because of that Battle Fury timing.
They are. Tier 1 tower, bot lane, still not down by the way, John. They're going to go after it now. Ooh, MCY's got an Echo Saber on the way.
Huh?
Echo Saber,
Great.
I've been thinking about this build-up quite a bit actually. And I always thought to myself it was really stupid. But maybe MCY is going to show us why Echo Saber PA could be a thing. Obviously, it does give them the break up against FBZ and Makoto when they go into a Silver Edge later on. If he goes Silver Edge later on, by the way, I don't...
Satanic.
Okay. So Echo Saber into Satanic then. I've been thinking to myself, I don't think this is necessarily a bad idea on a PA to have Echo Saber. It is rather experimental, I must admit, John. But it could work.
I'm not sold on this. The stats are nice, and I guess with Empower, maybe you get enough added. It looks like that's the game plan, right? You have Empower, you have Alacrity. Hope you get a crit in those sped up hits and just kind of dance from there. We'll see if it pays off. It's a bit of a dice roll, but I guess if you win big. And if you're playing PA anyway, you might as well play the casino game.
But even the stats are quite nice, like, because he hasn't got Battle Fury, right? So he hasn't really got the greatest mana regen. It's not much mana, 1.25 mana regen on top of what you already had, but even the plus 10 intelligence, it does feel quite nice on the PA, especially when you don't have a Battle Fury, to have that mana regen coming in. That's kind of where my head was going with it as well, right? Like, I'm not saying it's good. I was thinking about experimenting with this kind of build-up on PA, but MCY is doing it now for me, so I get to see from his perspective.
Yeah, we'll see if it pays off. I'm still not sold on it. I think, in as experimental as it is, you have to think about Phantom Strike. You already get 175 bonus attack speed, so the added Echo Strike you get isn't amazing. This is purely a stat stick, and I think considering that you already have Desolator on top, it's just awkward.
Echo is going to go down, and that's obviously one other thing that's going to dictate that itemization, John, is whether your offlaner can stay alive long enough for you to actually use it on an enemy hero.
Yeah. It's not quite it. Yeah, it's not lining up. They need Nico to be alive because they rely so much on the RP and the follow-up, the Burrow Strike follow-up with the Epicenter. They haven't really shown us that big team fight yet. Adroit has been a bit more scattered. Boom has been spacing out well. So they've been making it very difficult for Adroit to find that angle. They do clear out the bot tier 1 now, so we're down to the last 2 outer towers for Adroit. They will have to defend these, and Boom, they're just confident. They still hold the Aegis. They're still on top in farm. You do see MCY pull ahead as the PA, very slightly, but it's the effect of Empower PA. You can really start to clear those camps out quick. But that's only the one hero. Look at how far behind Mac and Nico have fallen. They are not having good game here, and when your Invoker's this far behind, there's really not much Mac can do. He's not even going for Ags. It's just drums into Solar Crest now.
It's all about buffing that PA, baby. Just get those PA buffs going. How could they lose, John? Echo Saber PA. Seems good.
I mean, I get what you were saying. Like, on paper, this is...
I mean,
this is okay.
I'm obviously
on
kidding
paper.
around right now. Like, I have like thought about this build-up. I really have. I've never tried it though. I've never had the balls to try I'm scared my team's gonna rage at me if I did this in a pub game. And I don't like them shouting at me, you know, John. It doesn't feel
Yeah,
very
it's true.
nice.
That it doesn't, Mike. Still, what isn't nice for Adroit right now is their mid-tier 2 being chipped in. Now, there's not much Dragon form left, but they've got to defend this one. They can't allow these towers to keep falling.
Oh, jump in. Makoto is going to get the stun off onto this Invoker, but he's ran out of that Dragon form. Still, Mac is going to be in danger, but now Nico in the backlines. Onto Hyde with the Sunstrike. Not going to be there in time. Another stun out, though. Onto Makoto, straight onto Nico. They do get the kill while FBC just keeps everyone else back on the Timbersaw, and they can't kill him anyway. He's literally taking on 4 heroes by himself, but now the skewer back is there onto the DK. Makoto, not that tanky, or maybe he is. He does have the Aegis. They've got Boomy. He'll buy back. Nico back in with the Burrow Strike for Keskut, swapping out Dreamersaw and Nico. Rather, the DK. Boomy going to commit the RP, but Makoto is going to be fine. He TPs away. MCY. Nico looking for a burrow, not going to be able to get it. Tornado is not going to land either. And they will get really nothing but Keskut.
Yeah, it's they defend their tier 2. That actually does work out for Adroit. I think that's exactly what they wanted. It did cost them 2 buybacks for a tier 2, so probably not the best trade, but they keep the objective. I think they're going to be happy enough with that. We'll see what else comes out. They still have the Epicenter, but they don't have Egg RP, which is not quite it. Again, if we need all of these spots to land on, they have to be cautious about throwing them one by one, because without one, then the other spots don't seem as hot. They need as much damage as possible flying through here. So Boom, knowing that RP and Egg are down, they might be looking for more.
Kodo back in, straight onto Mac with a stun, does get the kill, but Keskut does go down in response. Still FBZ, he'll go after Nico. In fact, never mind, they want to go after MCY. On that PA, chains forward from FBZ, but MCY will be able to blink away and be just fine. So 1 for 1. Thing is, they got the Invoker for revenge. Keskut is going to take that 100% of the time. It's into that tier 2 bottom tower now. I'll tell you what, John. In fact, hold that thought, because there could be a big RP, but Makoto has jumped into the high ground again. He found Nico on the Sand King, but he's going to be alright. He'll Burrow Strike away. Now Boomy looking for a skewer back, won't be able to get it. That RP though is back up in 5 seconds. Boomy looking for an opportunity, but Boom seemed to have had the timing pretty nicely. They understand when that RP was going to be back up, and they'll just get out of there.
Yep, just the disciplined play for Boom. They go back, they reset, they've taken out another tier 2, so it's 1 outer tower left here for Adroit, limiting their farming area. They do have some good boards, so at least they keep the vision game up in their camps. They've got places to play, but Boom now, they've got a lot of options. They can keep farming up in Dreamo Cell, wait out his BKB, which is going to be up soon. He's got some good stacks of Ancients here to clear out as well. They could wait for the next Roche, which we'll find out in about half a minute, and kind of go for that objective as well if they wanted to. They've got control of the map. They can kind of dictate the pace here if they want, and there's really not much Adroit can do about that for now.
The more time that goes on, the more I'm starting to realize this Echo Saber build-up kind of sucks. Mac, gonna get caught out of the Invoker. It's a good learning experience, John. Mac is gonna be alright. He'll Ghost Walk away. Meanwhile, Burrow Strike is there from Makoto. Nico gonna get caught by the stun. Looks to be in trouble, but the Sun Ray will keep him up and healthy. Because you'd rather a Basher, right? Or a BKB right now on MCY.
Yeah.
It's like, but what if, John, with that Aghanim Scepter build-up, if he can get 1 kill and keep just kind of snowballing from there, the Echo Saber's a very low cooldown. Maybe that's the idea. Once I have Ags up. He could just keep resetting though, John. It's genius.
But Phantom Strike's 175 attack speed. You don't need the Echo Saber Echo Strike. It's redundant. Like I literally don't see a difference when MCY goes in now. It's just stop it. Stop it. Oh boy.
Legit though, he probably should have a Basher or a BKB right now. So they are going to jump onto Kezcute, and Kezcute will die, but Hyde, he gets the disruption off. Dreamer Soul's going to move in, but MCY, he does manage to blink strike out, and now the egg is going to be there. Can they get it down in time? Dreamer Soul, he's trying to do it by himself, and he is going to be able to get away with it. Now Makoto looking to jump back in. Does see Nico. Will get the stun onto Nico, and looks like he will go down very quick. And yeah, MCY actually can't do anything. He might want a BKB.
Yeah, I think the BKB is going to allow him to stand and fight, ignore a lot of the control and damage early on from Boom. He is rushing the Ags though, so this is some future forward-thinking PA build that I don't think I can anticipate. And look at that, Dreamer Soul just melts towers through backdoor. He does not care at all. Just making quick work.
Chaos Meteor does nothing as Makoto does jump in, and now the Battle Trance just popped immediately. Dreamer Cell rushing forward for that Invoker. And all power to him, John. He had no buyback. So, it's very good news here for Boom Esports. Into the tier 3 tower, it's going to go down very quick, and Boom, do they want to try for tier 4 towers? I think it's a bit early for that, but you never know. MCY links in. RP is going to be out from Boomy, but the Yules is there on MCY, so the follow-up is not going to be out, and he just can't fight. He just can't. Where is this man's BKB? He's going to try. He's going to turn back around, but he gets disarmed. And Makoto just TP's out. MCY, he'll blink strike. But Hyde, apparently he has a blink dagger up now. He could just blink away. Yeah, I mean, no BKB, no Basher. He can't fight and he can't cancel TPs.
Nope. Now, to be completely fair here to MCY,
go on, Don.
He is 4-0, so it's somewhat working to his advantage, but not for his team.
He's having the perfect game. Is what you're telling me. Sanking gets jumped on right now. They kill off Nico. CML. Also going to be chased up by FBZs. Of course, the Aegis did go the way of Dreamer Soul, just in case anyone was wondering. On to the Phoenix. And he's gone. Makoto, another great initiation on the DK. Just destroying this game now with a 20k net worth lead. And it's like you said, John, MCY, 4-0-4. He's, yeah, in terms of impact, John, he hasn't really had any, but he is still having the perfect game, so you can't blame him.
It's not as good as Mikoto though at 8-0, and he's looking to widen it.
That's true. That is very true.
It's still at 8-0 here, Mikado, and the racks are just falling. All they can do is watch, and now an MKB's up for Dream Assault. It didn't even feel like he didn't have it, because he was still ripping and tearing, but it's up now.
Yeah, I mean, this next team fight's just a whitewash here for Boom, it seems. I just don't see how you fight into them anymore. MCY just can't stand there and hit people. He's gambling.
He is.
He's playing Ricky right now, it feels like. Just in and out. Just doesn't want to be committing to a full team fight.
Yeah, but that makes you wonder about the Satanic, right? Like you've got Satanic, you want to stand and fight.
Here we go.
Divine.
Yeah, that's the problem, John. That's why the Echo Saber's not working. Because we haven't got the Divine Rapier yet. No BKB necessary, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let these pros fool you. MCY, he's trying to teach you the way to do it. No BKB, no Basher. We just need damage. That fixes everything.
Oh, God. This is, I mean, they drain Dreamo Assault, but they need the RP Egg and Burrow Strike all together.
BZ. He is burning to the Sun Ray, but Kensuke going to save his life again as MCY does come in and crits him to death. But how do you fight now that Dreamer Soul's here? If he gets ensnared, he is dead. He will not, however. He does get lucky. Into the disruption. Egg is there with the epicenter and a big crit. They will get the Aegis. But Kensuke, he buys back. He wants to come back into this team fight. Boomy, he still has the RP available on the mag. MCY almost killing off FBZ, but the cheese was there, and now they got the RP. But the disruption is going to be there on MCY. He can't attack him. Meanwhile, Makoto in the backlines kills off CML, forces the buyback out, but the Raxes are still being taken. Mega creeps are upon us now. Makoto has been left behind. The crit damage is high, but the disruption again will save and Kescu. Another great swap out will give his life away for him. Dreamer Soul, he's popped the battle trance, but Boomy, he skewers him away. It just won't matter though. Dreamer Soul, just killing people off left, right, and center. Here's the chase. They need to punish as best as possible. Nico, no burrow strike. Just, they don't want to go fight.
All right. Well, Mega Creep's up for Boom.
John,
Now,
John,
yeah.
look
yeah.
at that PA courier, John.
Oh no.
Yeah, there it is.
No.
There it is.
Why?
I'm telling you, John, this is Adroit are guaranteed to come back now.
MCY has to fight though. You know, we've seen this a couple of times, Mike, where we get baited with crit.
Johnny's 6-0-4. I don't know what you're talking about. MCY is playing perfectly.
He's got to fight though. Like, you know, he can't back off. Look at this. Come on. You see Dreamer Cell? You must know.
Do it.
Could be big.
You've been gambling all game, MCY. Do it. Jump in.
Oh God.
There we go. They jump in now with a 2.8k crit. There goes Dreamer Cell. If they win this game, John, if they win this game, every C pub is just completely ruined after that. No BKB, no Basher, Echo Saber PA with a Deso, Satanic, and Divine Rapier. That's what we're set to expect.
Oh my God. Oh no. Oh, that was Dreamer Cell's second that. So okay, he didn't lose a massive streak. What I'm now worried about is Mikado. He's 9-0-13, Mike. Mikado can't afford to give this streak away. He doesn't want to drop this perfect game.
Well,
And of course,
one crit would take away 3/4 of his HP, probably even more. So he's got to be careful.
yeah.
Look at Dota Plus. Look at Dota Plus. It's at 99%. But there's a 1% chance. Now 1% is MCY. He could do it, John.
Oh yeah.
I believe.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I mean, he's even got the Paladin Sword for some lifesteal on top of his Satanic. So he's in a good spot. I love that he's still rushing the Ags. He doesn't want a BK. No, I have got Divine. I don't need BKB.
That's it. No need for that crap, John. He's playing like a real man here, MCY.
No. This is peak Pinoy Dota. This is why C pubs are just angry all the time because of MCY. He is the epitome of C. It's like we saw the MT Trust draft, right? That was the C draft. Now it's C gameplay for MCY.
Mid lane. Look at this. Look at this. Boomy's in a shadow amulet. Mac was right behind him. Boomy's waiting for the perfect opportunity. Now will reveal himself. But you never know where this man's going to be, John. He could be sitting anywhere.
Oh my God. This is. I mean, I appreciate the creativity here from Adroit, right? They're finding angles, as you're saying. They're taking quite a few liberties with the build-up in MCY, and they have just dropped Mac to a support. This is a support invoker now.
It is.
He is just here to alacrity with the empower, and that is it. There's no other job here for Mac. Maybe he throws the tornado EMP to look cute, but this is the PA show. This is MCY. This is his show now. He's running it. He's waiting for his Ags. He's trying to rush it as fast as possible. I love that the wand's still there, though. You need those charges. Value. 35 minutes in.
What if he needs to survive, John? He needs something for that. It's not like there's any other items he could use. One's pretty good.
I don't know how to feel right now.
Neither do I, John. Aghanim Scepter up on Hyde, so 3 charges of Purge. Gonna be a little bit frustrating to play against if you are Adroit. Then again,
Yep.
they are stuck in their base anyway, so, you know, I'm sure things are quite frustrating for them as is right now.
Yeah, they've got the eggs up, man, on MCY. So there's that
Love it.
lower cooldown on the blur.
Here we
You can
go.
start hunting.
Smokes up by Boom. They've got to go in sometime. They're probably sitting there wondering where the GG call is. Like, what's going on here? Are they really going to defend these Megas? The answer is yes. Yes, they are. 'Cause they believe. Believe in the power of MCY in this game number 1. SNY build up as well.
What?
SNY build
No,
up.
no. What is this? What is this,
MCY, he
MCY?
is truly sticking to the C way. He just
It feels like he reversed the order of the build-up, right? He went Dezo and then Echo Saber. He went Satanic into Divine and then Axe, and now to touch it up, SNY. It's like
I love
there's
it.
something wrong with that order there. This just a bit something off. You know, maybe who needs Abyssal, right? Control is for the weak. You don't need control if they're dead, Mike.
I would have rather. I don't care for the Abyssal, John. I think the BKB would be pretty nice right now, though. These- In all
No.
seriousness.
You know what it is? He's gonna get a Minotaur horn.
Oh, of course he is. A Minotaur horn, Jonathan. I believe we discussed your pronunciation with that item. So yeah, if you can get a Minotaur horn, what is that, like 1.5 seconds of BKB time?
Yeah.
That's
That's
pretty
all
good.
you need. That's
Yeah.
enough to get a crit off. And once you get the crit, you win. So again, this is 5-head plays. Forward thinking.
Oh, goodness.
You know, the sad thing is that it's actually working. I think that's the saddest part. It's actually, I mean, they're shoving out waves. They can't make any plays on objectives, but they've forced Boom to be super scared. Like, they don't want to deal with that. Who wants to deal with 2.8k of a crit? No one.
DOTA Plus is still flatlining at 99, by the way. It hasn't given up hope on Adroit yet. They're still in with a winning chance, and here we go, John. They're gonna jump in. Into that Roshan pit, but the smoke is going to be out from Boom. Mega Creeps are invading the base. They've got to do something. They'll jump in. Boom is gone already, though. Nico, he's trying to fight by himself. He gets the epicenter off, but it doesn't matter on MCY. He's getting disarmed constantly. He's trying to fight. He's going to go down. MCY. The Divine's just on the deck. What are they doing? What are they doing? What is this build-up? FBC
He
can't
jumps in.
believe it.
Yeah, they're pinging the Divine. They're like, what? He jumps in, he gets disarmed, and he's surprised. I can't explain this one, Mike. I can't. That's the post game. I can't explain it.
Oh. He was having a perfect game too, John. It's all gone now. 7-1 and 4. It's okay. We
But look-
saw what you were trying to do, MCY. Don't you worry. We know.
Look at Mikado though. 11-0. That's a true player. Had a good run there.
What's this item
and-
though in his bag? Black King Bar. What does
Mm.
that mean?
No,
Grand spell
looks
immunity.
pretty weak.
Duration
It's
decrease.
that.
Wait a minute. Spell immunity. Wait a minute. That sounds pretty good, John. Spell immunity. That
Who
means.
needs that? The Divine, Mike. But the Divine.
Where is it? I don't see it in MCY's bag, John. Where is it?
He sold it at the end.
Oh. Okay.
Sold it to Boom.
Okay.
It's an offering.
All right. Well, with that, John, we are going to move on to our next game. It is, of course, a best of 2. It's a Dota and Drone X Fire. It's been a bit of fun with this series, John. I always
yeah?
get very entertained watching these kind of item build-ups here from Adroit. We'll move on to game number 2. Should be about 10 minutes before we get there. We'll see you soon. right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for our second game of this best of two series between the side of Boom Esports and, of course, Adroit. It's MLP Dota and John X5. John, there's been a lot of conversation in the chat. Shout out to Arrow Y, I believe his name is, starts with a 4 as well. He's been having a conversation with me about the build up on the PA, and we've been having a discussion about status resist and whether the PA needed the BKB that game or not. I don't disagree that S and Y should have been picked up prior to the Echo Saber. Obviously, you pointed out the Echo Saber was completely useless at that game. I think we can all agree on that. I still feel like you need a BKB though, right? Like, with 2 or 3 stuns, a Yule's there. The point was being made that there was a Shadow Demon Purge and Disruption, which makes it hard, and Halberd can still go through the BKB if you use it prior to the BKB being activated. But if you don't get the BKB, you just can't do anything. That's... I don't know. It's up for discussion. I'm happy to discuss it. I feel like if I asked a top-tier POS 1 player, they would probably agree that the BKB was important, but... maybe we can have that discussion. Like, maybe I'll contact somebody and we'll find out what they think.
Yeah.
Still, John, good to have a discussion with people in the chat. It's always nice to have
Yeah.
a serious discussion as well. Shout out to
Yeah.
you, sir. And also shout out to the dude that made our admin, Mr. Sexy Zexy. He made a monster cake or monster brownie today. Big shout out to him, and big shout out to Monster, of course, for keeping us energized throughout the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13. A lot of shout outs there, John. But before we talk about the draft, I do have to ask you how you're feeling.
I'm feeling great. You know, it's been a spectacular day of Dota. That first game was an enjoyable one. I think you see MCY, we've had this discussion about the guy, right? Like, he's been going back to the core IO. He does some strange stuff in his builds, and sometimes they work. I think if we go back to the PA talk, it was very experimental. I think that's the friendliest way to put it. Very, very, very experimental. I am in the camp that BKB was necessary, but I'm also it's necessary, but it wouldn't have won them the game, right? Like, you needed it, but that didn't mean they would win with BKB. It's not an auto win. It would have made it easier for him to jump in, but a lot more had to happen. They had this team fight draft with a Magnus, with an Invoker that turned into a support because of how far behind Mac was, and they couldn't really land their spells. They needed to get the RP with a Burrow Strike and follow up with the Egg going off in the background. Everything had to go perfectly when they were that far behind. So BKB was one aspect, but not all of it. Still, we'll see if Adroit shake it up. I think, you know, they've played, this is their back-to-back series. I mean, they're gonna have to play another one after as well, and that tends to be pretty difficult for a lot of teams. So we'll see if they can kind of shake that off here. You do have the openers here, Mike. Boom, Shadow Demon again with the Drow this time, so they can play with the illusion spam of the Drow, and they pick up a Bat Rider. So they've got that great single target pullback. There's no Venge to worry about. There might be an Oracle for Adroit if they want to, or an Abaddon, but those don't tend to be what they pick up. The Oracle a bit more likely because of CML, but we haven't seen it too often. They start with a Magnus Snap. So again, keeping it open for Boomy on the Magnus or Boomy on the Snap. A lot of options to go around there. And we'll see how they develop. They don't have the PA, but there are still some pretty good heroes here for MCY to go into. Troll is still in the pool if they want to go into that. And Jug, we've seen Jug Mag a couple of times. Adroit could opt for one of those.
Adroit, their third pickup now. Should mention, by the way, as well, John, I realize we were laughing a lot that game. We do respect all these players, just so you go. I mean, we're clearly just joking around. I mean, we know these players are infinitely better than we are at the game.
Of course.
We're not trying to make fun of them. We're trying to have fun with them. Just anyone that was getting a bit upset, you know, we're just having a laugh. Don't you worry. Big love to all these players, John. I wish the best on them, of course.
Of course.
Or wish the best for them, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking with Boomy. We were talking about, like, his choice of drink. He agreed upon the same drink with me, and I offered to have a drink. It's like, it's 2 local beers, 2 different kinds. There's like this camp in the Philippines, like, you know, you take one side or the other. Like with you and VB, you know, you tell me VB's not good. It's the same kind of argument here between these 2 brands. we both like the same ones. I'm like, yeah, Boomy, let's go out in a year. You know? Way down the line, maybe we'll go out for
Yeah.
a drink.
Boomy's gonna remember you laughing last game. And he's gonna remember it for a full year. And one day you're just gonna be having a beer with him. Everything's gonna be fine, and just gonna just give you a bit of a love tap. You know what I mean? You're just gonna. I remember that time you were laughing at my carry, John Xfire. You're not gonna get away with that. Not while I'm
Oh, no.
supporting him. No, no.
Ooh, yeah, that's gonna be the day. Still, look at that. They do actually pick up the Abaddon. We just mentioned it, but now you've got this Purge for the lasso. They've got a way to kind of break up that initiation from Boom. Boom, though, you love this. Drow Tusk comes out. The multi-shot plus tag team. The slowest that you can get out, the control and the damage looking pretty good here for Boom in the laning phase. Going into the late, it's pretty nice with a Drow. We've got to see what they pull out here for Drumusal first. I think that's the for Mikado. That's what we're missing. But Adroit Ricky comes in, so there's their Magnus combo, and I think that's pretty potent. Like the silence is killer. You've got gap close to jump the Drow. It's all really potent here for the Ricky to start chopping heads off early on.
That it is. I do really like this Ricky pick up into this draft. I think it is very strong here for Adroit. By the way, apologies to anyone wondering why it looks so smoky behind me. For anyone that hasn't followed us for a while, John, it may or may not have been because I was vaping again. It's I tend to forget to open the window behind me, so it gets a bit smoky in here. Don't you worry about it. I guess
that's
it's like I'm training in the hyperbolic time chamber, John. I'm filling my room up with vape. What do you call it? Vapor, I guess. So my lungs get adjusted to that humid environment. Just getting really ready one day when the pandemic's over and SCA LAN will be around, and I'm ready for that humidity, John. I'm ready for it. You tell me all the time SCA is very humid, very tropical.
It is.
I'm ready for it, sir.
That's good. That's good. The heat is killer. I'm just glad to hear it's not truck fumes from your neighbor. I'm just really glad it's not that,
He has stopped, believe it or not.
Outstanding.
The truck's not on anymore. I'm not sure if he ran out of diesel for it or something. It could just be completely dead. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the neighbors literally went and forced him to turn it off because it was on for like 8 hours straight, but it's gone now, John. Very, very good news. Still, final banouts to come. I feel like we haven't talked about the draft at all. Adroit, as I said, I think their draft is looking quite nice, if I'm perfectly honest. I like the Abaddon pick as well. I think there's going to be a lot of things that they can get done with this Aphotic Shield, mostly being the cancellation of the lasso, of course. Just stopping that lasso altogether with the Aphotic Shield, but you can also purge off the silence from the Drow Ranger. You can't really do much up against the Shadow Demon, but you can block off a decent amount of damage with that Aphotic Shield. So it is a very nice pick here for Adroit. Obviously also helps out the Ricky as well in a way, right? Because the Ricky, already a very slippery hero, and having that Aphotic Shield in the background is going to make it that much harder to actually secure a kill on this position 1 Ricky.
Yeah, it's going to be something that enables Adroit to play faster, and I think that's what they sort of lacked in game 1. I think you're going to expect more activity here. They even go out with the Darkseer, so it's
What? Is this the I Iron Show my Ricky and he runs and stalks somebody and just kills them slowly but surely build up? I love it.
Yeah, it's possible. It does take level 6 now to do that with your Ricky.
Yes.
So they're going to have to sit out for that, but you can do that. And again, you can keep track of Drow now. I'm
But
not sure if Boom's the kind of team to not notice that.
But hear me out, John.
Yeah.
What if I know you're thinking Ricky Diffusal Blade, right? But what if we forget about that and rush a Radiance and really amplify that damage? We get Radiance, Iron Shell, and we just follow people the whole game. How good would that be?
We're taking this to real deep pub territory here, Mike.
Yeah?
That is deep
Yeah,
into
I'm
the
going.
pubs there.
I'm going to the 2K bracket, John. I'm really thinking, where do we go with this build up? Like,
Oh my
I've
God.
probably tried that before. I'm not gonna lie. Like back in the day, I've been playing the game for 15 years, John. At some stage, I would have tried to do that on this Ricky pick.
Oh.
Is it plausible?
No. I'll have to say a hard no, but it's MCY. He is open to very experimental builds. We'll
I
see
like
if
it.
that's the option here. I the laning here for Adroit's looking pretty interesting, right? Like it's a Ricky up against a Night Stalker. I honestly think that's a pretty decent lane for the Night Stalker. Like he's got high regen as well. The
Yep.
Ricky does have the mobility, but you potentially got a Shadow Demon to help you set up, or a Tusk, or maybe an early tri lane here. So we'll see if Boom is going to focus on the first nighttime to start bullying out. You still have that combo as you mentioned with the Darkseer and the Ricky, and even the Abaddon and Photic Shield just while chasing down. You've got this great empower target for Mac, and he does have the
Mm.
Ghostly Magnus in place, so that's looking good. Boomy
Wait.
is on his snap.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it was. I was like, wait a minute. Boomy went from normal mag to ghost mag, but yeah, Mac's playing it now. Mac's got the cosmetic. Mac's been playing
swapped that.
Dietide, John. Good on Mac.
Yeah, he's been having fun. And look, Boomy on the snap, I think that's a different play style. Like we tend to see Boomy on greedy heroes. When he's on his snap, it is a little bit more selfish. So we're talking about maybe the mech rush comes into play here, but you can expect a little bit more activity from Boomy compared to how passive it was while they were waiting for the blink from his Magnus. Not as much of an issue there. So you can expect better farm distribution, and because of that, you can expect better timings here for Adroit, kind of fixing one of the issues we had in game one. I think that's going to take care of a few of those timing issues there because they waited so long. They should be able to bring a good fight here against Boom. Boom, for their part, there's always that constant worry of the Abaddon here for Mikado, right? Like the initiation's going to be pretty complex. They've got to choose their targets right. They have to know where CML is all the time, and that's not something you can necessarily get done, especially when you're playing against a Ricky that can scout forward. So vision gain of Boom has to be on point, and there's potential here to run down early with how strong they are in lane, but there's also potential for Adroit to just counteract them at every single step as well.
See how this all pans out. I'm very intrigued with these two drafts. See what does come out of this game number 2. Also, Adroit do have another series straight after this up against TNC, the good old-fashioned Rumbulan, John, or Rumbulan. Excuse me.
There you go. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I've been working on my Filipino, John. I've been really trying to get the pronunciation right of these words.
Good on you.
I think I'm almost there, sir. Almost there.
Yeah, it's pretty good, Mike. Pretty good still.
Really working on the rolling R's as well. The Rambulan.
Yeah, there you go. Rambulan. Yeah.
Rambulan. Yes.
Oh, chat's gonna love it. No. Ooh. That's exactly it. And
top lane. FBZ gonna cop a scatter blast to the back. MCY still there, but now they're gonna try and turn. Now, they won't be able to get too much done up against MCY. It's gonna be just fine to run out with Boomy. However, down at the bot lane, Kescue does still have his tag team. They will go onto CML now. Dream Missile behind with the follow-up damage. CML tried to Fairy Fire. He will not get away. Dream Missile able to take the kill. Great start for the side of Boom Esports.
And that's what you want to see, because this lane is not getting any easier for Dreamcell. Iron Child spams in play. Not a very tanky hero up front, so gonna have to watch his spacing. Very important that they found a first blood, and that is gonna slow down Adroit just for a bit. Now, level 2, level 3 spikes are big for Adroit though, so you will have to watch that spike on the Darkseer, on the Abaddon. They can kind of play around. Just have to be cautious with your spacing. Now, Nico is out of mana. This is a pretty big window, but he has the mangoes out. Still CML and not gonna be safe.
No, he's not. Of course, looking over to that mid lane for a second, John. Makoto is going to be up there, up against Mac. Very hard lane for Mac on the mag. There's really not much he can do up against the Bat Rider. Makoto has hit that level 2 mark now as well, so can go for the Firefly or the W. I always forget the Flame Break. That's what it's called. With that sticky napalm stack, it is going to be an extremely hard lane for Mac. He doesn't even have Skewer yet as well, which is what really scares me here for him. Is if he doesn't level up Skewer, or at least 1 point in it, Makoto can just get Firefly at this level 3 mark and just chase him down for the kill.
I think the tricky thing with the matchup here for the Magnus is that if you get Skewer, but you already have stacks of Napalm, you are not going to get a good spin. Right? You're not going to get the good turn rate to go around, Skewer back to safety. You're going to be forced to maybe go for an aggressive Skewer forward to just break it off a bit. and that's never good. And man, I hate this. I'm looking at Mac. Every time he gets sticky napalm, he just turns white, like textureless, pure white. That's
Nothing wrong with white, John.
no, but
Very much.
there's no textures. It's just busted.
Oh,
Valve, please.
you always find a way to complain about Valve. You know that, John? Every
I know.
time, without a doubt, you find a way to complain.
Someone's got to do it, Mike, and it's not gonna be you.
Oh,
It's got to be me.
that is true, John. I want a job with Valve in the future. Top lane. Boomy is going to be there up against Hyde. Boomy, nice cookie out with a scatter blast onto the Shadow Demon, but Hyde is very focused in on making sure he gets the small camp as well as the wave, and he pretty much gets all of it. But Boomy is going to keep up the chase, and MCY wants to blink in for a nice easy kill, and he will be able to get it. However, down at the bot lane, CML also dies to Dreamer Cell. So both position ones find themselves a nice pick-off.
Yeah, they're just finding the support kills here, both sides. Gonna be happy with a start, and I feel like that does benefit our Ricky just a bit more. Ricky with earlier farms, as you mentioned, the timings are a lot tighter. The build-up into the defusal is a lot more important for Ricky compared to the initial Dragonlance Massive Madness rush for Drow. So the fact that MCY is allowed to find this is pretty big news for Adroit. They just need to keep that spacing up, need to keep that control up. They are in a good position, Boom, though, to take control of these runes, and Adroit don't quite have the movement out from their supports. That's going to hurt them a bit in that mid lane.
Mac is really copping it here in this mid lane. Just can't catch him. He might actually die now. Makoto, he's going to go for the illusion rune, and Mac will be able to preemptively skewer away. He wasn't going to risk being around for that Firefly and Flame Break out from Makoto. And so while he is avoiding dying, he's not really getting as much farm as he'd want. Still, MCY able to pick up another kill, this time onto FBZ. So this Ricky lane is going very nicely so far for Adroit.
Yeah, it's just got so much presence. They're finding all those kills, and they're finding that, and they're also pressuring Dream Assault. So even if they lost those couple of deaths down bot, it's now not a very safe lane for a Drow.
Hyde is going to be okay to run, but Dreamer Soul is going to die to Nico. CML does die in response, but Kezcute is being chased down by Nico with that Iron Shell. He's going to have to surge away, but the Snowball's going to follow him up. Nico, does he want to turn around? Not quite. Chance going to be out onto our Darkseer as he tries to reach the bounty rune. His arms aren't long enough though, John. Makoto is going to come in. And he was really reaching for it through that ice. You could feel it, but the Darkseer has very short arms.
Quite unfortunate, but overall, I think Boom not going to be too pleased about that. They still drop Dream Assault for that exchange. That is still a win for Adroit overall. That does, force Mikado to move around as well, and this is the point where Adroit can actually use this time to jungle well. Mac can just dip in. He's got level 3 in power. You do not have wards here from Boom. That's going to be a bit of an issue. They've been on point with tracking the farming patterns of Adroit in game 1. This game, looks like they might be slipping up a bit. You do not want to risk that fast timing on Mac. He's going to be looking for those RP engagements, and again, you've got the Ricky. So as soon as you get the RP, MCY, as long as he has his 6 and maybe his 2 rate bands up, he is going to look for those opportunities, and you can bet Adroit is going to want to play fast around that timing.
Absolutely. Mac, currently in the fountain, is going to TP back towards the tier 2 tower in that mid lane, so he's just going to go to the jungle now on that Magnus. Not going to waste any more time up against the Bat Rider. And all props to Mac, by the way, John. I mean, considering the lane he's had, he's farming very well now. 37 and 5 on the Magnus. Not really struggling in terms of CS. And while Makoto's had a pretty free lane, you wonder how much influence he's going to have as this Bat Rider. In fact, RP comes out. The Firefly not really doing too much yet, but Makoto now going to turn back around for a lasso onto that Snapfire, but there was no chance of a kill really occurring unless Hyde can get some more damage out with that Shadow Poison, but it looks like they are going to be alright, and Adroit, they will all survive for another day.
Yeah, I think this is it's a pretty good trade for Adroit. They did have to pop RP, but I don't think Mac was looking to use it anyway for any sort of fight without the blink. So you trade it out, you're going to go back to farming anyway. The lasso loss hurts Boom just a bit more, but Mikado's just perfectly fine. He's got some stacks to play with. So he also has access to his jungle, and neither side is going to be hunting that down. I think that's going to be a big issue. Both mids are going to find that flash farm, and nighttime's up, so FBZ is looking to run around here.
He is. Boomy, going to be okay to run out. FBZ looks like he'll just concentrate on dishing out some damage to that tier 1 top tower. The same will happen here from Adroit down at the bot lane. They will go after that bottom tier 1. We think we'll be just fine. Just trying to go for those direct trades. It's like Dreamer Soul is going to join FBZ there as well in the drought. He's slowly but surely working towards that Dragon Lance and does almost have it up. MCY has got the treads on the courier on the way, I believe, and is just working towards that diffusal blade on the Riki. So everything is pretty standard here for both two teams. Nothing too surprising going on. Though I must admit, John, for Boom Esports' sake, I do get a little bit concerned about when this Riki does have the diffusal blade time. So it does feel like they are going to be quite easy pickings for MCY.
They definitely will be, especially while these 4 staffs aren't up yet. So that's going to be something that basically you're going to need on Dreamocell, you're going to want on Hyde, and probably even Keskut. You need those 4 staffs to get out of the smoke, get yourself in a good spot. And it's a bit slow going for Boom. Again, they're playing a farming game, but Adroit does have the Magnus, and they haven't really controlled the jungle. They've got a forward ward now, but they've already gotten maximum value already on. So I don't think Adroit's going to mind too much. They've got space in the bottom jungle to play with, and they're hunting Mikado. Like MCY is just keeping track of the farming patterns. It's never just a free ride for the farm, and you've always got to be a bit worried about the Riki starting to really farm up here.
A 1k net worth lead here for Boom Esports. Mac getting close to that blink dagger timing. 10-minute bounty runes are about to spawn up, however, so are we going to see a contest over those? Doesn't really look like it. Just Adroit down at the bot lane have secured their own, and Boom Esports will do the exact same thing up at the top lane, just take their own bounty runes and leave it at that. Neither team wanting to fight yet, both of them quite confident in just farming up, but Makoto now does spot out CML, is going to go in with the Firefly. CML still not level 6, is very susceptible to dying right now, but Makoto, he'll commit the lasso, trying to go for this kill, but now MCY is going to jump in onto the Bat Rider. Mac, thinking about an RP, does not commit. That's going to be another lasso being wasted here.
It's not the result you'd want for Boom, but you can see how cautious Mikado is when throwing it out. He has to wait for the shield first, and he's going for these unideal targets. It's not an easy game for the Bat Rider, which is why that Abaddon pick was so important for Adroit. It's enabling them to apply that pressure. It's forcing Boom to play a slower game. They are still finding farm, and in that sense, you know, Dreamcell has gotten a lot of space out, but the Magnus Riki is starting to pull ahead. You know, Empower is starting to play a big part in that farm escalation. They're looking to set their eyes towards mid, and they're probably not going to commit fully, but this is forcing Boom to at least show where Keskut is, so that means your Tusk is not hunting around, you're not finding openings to really abuse, and Adroit might just actually commit now.
That they may. Max got the blink dagger up on the courier, but Boom Esports, they want to get started onto Nico. They will get the Darkseer, and now the lasso back out onto the Snapfire. They've got control onto CML to boot, and that'll be 3 for nothing. That tier 1 mid tower does still stay strong. Looks like the rest of Adroit, they've just got to get back to farming. I mean, they've just got such a nice power spike with that diffusal blade. You'd rather just wait for that to be up, unless you see a huge RP opportunity.
Yeah, it's hard to get that RP opportunity without the Darkseer, although the respawns are short, so they might have time.
They're gonna try. CY blinking forward, but Dreamercell had the gust out. He blinks in, but this is very dangerous. Still, the side of Boom don't want to fight into it. So Kescute, he'll go for a run away, but they do have the control out. So they do get themselves something for their trouble. But it will only be the support task.
Yeah, it's not a good pickup considering they trade their mid-tier 1, but Adroit, with the numbers advantage, do want to still go back. So they're going to go back for the mid-tier 1 themselves and maybe find something.
FBZ is silenced up. MCY feeling confident now. Will go after the Night Stalker and does get another. 4-0-0 on the Ricky so far. And in terms of that Diffusal Blade, he's just about 800 gold away from it.
Yeah, and that's going to be the big spike they're looking for. They do manage to trade evenly on objectives, so now you're happy if you're Adroit. Net worth lead drops to it drops to around 2k. They smoke up, but they still figuring out where to go. It looks like invading the triangle. They are a bit blind here, so they're not really informed as to what location would be good.
CY keeping up vision, but he's underneath the sentry ward right now, and he's going to get gusted up. Kescute with the Walrus Punch as well. The Snowball out. The Silence, they have as much control as they need. And now on to CML. Gonna pop the borrowed time. Meanwhile, Makoto chasing Boomy in the back lines, looking for a lasso and does get it. CML still in trouble as well, is going to die on this Abaddon, and so is Boomy. Nice proactive approach there from Makoto to go into the back lines and find the Snapfire every single fight. You just never see any kind of real usage of this Snapfire because Makoto is always on top, making sure he never feels comfortable.
Yeah, and this team fight for Adroit, again, they were in an offensive spot, but they didn't manage to play with their RP wall combination. That's the big one we're waiting for. It's very potent for Adroit, but those were just 3 heroes up front, and they're not coordinated. They need to all be on the same page. When you draft Magnus, Darkseer, Ricky, you have got to use those teamfight spells. And it looks like Max ID right now is still wait for the Echo Saber, which is fair, but the rest of the team has to be on the same page. You can't expect your Ricky to just walk around like this under sentries and secure kills with just the kisses flying out. It's way too hard. They couldn't even clean up Dreamocell, who basically just stood in like majority of the kisses. So they've got to be a bit cautious, but they're not too far behind still. I think when you see the scoreboard 10-5 but only 2k ahead, Adroit is still working this map well. They're still finding some key spikes. They've got the mech up in Nico. We know how potent Darkseer can get once you do have Guardian Greaves plus Pipe Up. You're going to be sustaining your entire team for so long. And I'm not sure if this is on purpose, but Nico's clipped a couple of neutrals. You could start stacking up like that if he wants.
I saw that. That's actually Arteezy, John. It's Halloween, and he's dressed up as a wolf. And he hasn't left home yet. He's just chilling out there. Hey, Arteezy. How you doing? It is Halloween after all, John. I know we're on the 2nd, but they... Wait, what day is Halloween? I can't even remember now. Never mind. Nico. Lasso is going to be onto the Ricky, or rather the Darkseer, excuse me. They do get Nico.
Yeah, it's slowing down those pacing to the Oral Dome.
Execute, Snowball. Back, going to be in danger, needs to find a big RP here for his team. Isn't going to have his blink up yet, as now they do go on to Kescute, but he's going to just run away. Macnell, Skewer is going to be back onto the task, and they will get Kescute. However, FBZ onto Boomy does help kill one. CML with the borrowed time is already active. They're still trying to fight this one out. Mac, he does have the RP, but he's not allowed to blink. Makoto and Kescute were just making sure that whole time that the blink was not available on Mac, and he never got the RP off.
Yeah, and it's just, again, a bit of a scattered fight for Adroit. They end up splitting up their team 3-2. 3 on the upper ground, 2 on the low ground chasing by the ramp. And they don't get the RP wall combo. They need to fly that out, but every time it doesn't, they just don't win these fights. And now the Roche could potentially just drop. Oh,
I hear an RP. In the mid lane, it seems Makoto was caught. He's not dead yet, however. Skewer's gonna miss Makoto. Oh, he's dodging like a god. He gets out of there. Kescu gonna go for the Walrus Punch on Mac. Doesn't quite kill him off. But Makoto, woo, that was some nice sidestepping from him. It was, I don't even know what to call it, John. It was just great.
Yeah, it really was. And Adroit, I don't know about that. Like, I get that one-man RPs are great. They needed to find a kill, though. The follow-up, again, wasn't there. The kisses alone are just not enough. Your Boomy's at level 8. He's not going to find the level 2 kisses anytime soon. He is rushing his Ags as well, because the orb build is coming out from their Darkseer. So that's fair enough. But again, it's such a slow build-up from the pause 4 roll. They're not able to give Boomy as much space as possible. And if they want to play the farming game, Boom is actually having a decent time with it. Dreamocell's still #1 in that word. The Hurricane, the Dragonlance is up into the Hurricane Pike, which again is super important against that Riki, and that's going to take away the potency of the smoke, and they are smoked up.
On to Nico, it seems, or maybe not. Lasso in the mid lane. They found an even better target. They've got Mac there, and with the silence out from FBZ, there was no hope of him skewering out. And in fact, they even found Nico. He is surged away, however, but Makoto just going to body block him up as FBZ gets him with the slow. They have the arrows now to fly out. A nice vacuum wall is there, but do they have the follow-up? Nico, he's still going to be able to run away. That'll pretty much be it. Still a nice little engagement there for Boom Esports. They'll go after that top tier 2 tower now.
Yeah, they've got no worries. Like, they've already got the Ags up here on FBZ, so he's got the AoE Void, which is super useful against those illusions from the wall.
FBZ, he gets his crippling fear off in time before the smokescreen came out from MCY, and now he wants to try and turn. Hyde gets a disruption. Mac is rushing in. He does have that RP up, but Hyde is well and truly out of there, or maybe he's not. The Mortimer's Kisses are flying in, and now Dreamocell has been pounced on by MCY. Tricks to the Train will be there. They're trying to get the RP off in this round. They won't need it though. The Aegis is down, and boom, they need to try and fight right here, right now. Onto Mac they go. They'll get one. Back to MCY. He's trying to run here on this Riki, but he can't go anywhere. There is nowhere to go for him. He will tricks to the trade though. Try to juke them out, but there is no chance. Now Snowball going after Nico. Flame Break is going to connect there from Makoto, and Nico is just stuck. The ice will not melt fast enough here for our Darkseer. He does die, and it's a full team wipe. And Boom Esports, they get away with everyone alive. Nobody died, apart from that Aegis death on Dreamocell.
Yeah, they're still working it out. And again, you see the hesitation from Adroit to get the RP. This is perfect positioning from Boom. They're always split up. There's no opportunity for Adroit to get that team fight that they're looking for. They just can't line up the big RPs into the wall with the kisses flying out. It's just so staggered because of how Boom is playing this. And Adroit need to force Boom in a spot where they are clumped up. They need to find a way to kind of herd them into a very tight spot and kind of bait them into that. It's just that Boom's just so smart, so disciplined right now. Adroit, they are still finding some good build-up. MCY, Mike, look at that build-up on our Riki. Gonna be a BKB next for MCY.
Impossible.
Big turnaround.
It is a big turnaround, actually. I mean, ironically enough, this might be the game where he probably shouldn't buy it. But there you go. So, they've got the lasso there. They've got the Walrus Punch. I don't know anymore with these BKBs, John. I'm just gonna let. I don't know what else to say anymore about. I mean, it's a good pickup, I guess, right? Like he's worried about disruption and gust. I thought you'd rather Manta, if I'm honest, because the lasso is there with the Walrus Punch to go through the BKB. I thought Manta might be the better option just to purge off silences, but I guess Manta will not purge off crippling fear, so it makes enough sense.
Yeah. It's been a big spanner in the works every time FBC's up front. And look at this. They are trying to chase Dreamocell, but there's a smoke from behind.
A nice lasso out from Makoto. Hyde can disrupt the backlines, make sure they can't follow up. CML could not help him out with the Aphonic Shield, and now they rush him. No buyback gold available on our Riki at the moment, and that means CML will just kind of be left to die here. In fact, it could be even more. CML, he actually gets out, but no, Hyde has the Shadow Poison, and now with the disruption onto Mac, we'll be forcing him to skewer out. And that'll be it. They're not going to commit to the high ground, but they are going to get some nice pickoffs. It's back to the triangle for the side of Boom Esports.
I like that conservative play. Like, it may look like they're super far ahead, but they respect the power of that RP. They know that the respawn timers are super low, so they know Adroit still has an opportunity to come back. All they need is one big RP. Your Ricky's ready to rip through with the tricks of trade and the empower. You might not have had wall because Nico did blow it in the lower ground, but they are very good in the high ground, and that's something Boom has to be very cautious about. They're taking the safer approach. They know they've got control of the map, just maximizing that farm, waiting for more items to come in. You're going to have a BKB up on FBZ relatively soon. It's still early on, but they do have enough space to get that farm built up. You're also going to have a blink out in Kesgut for some saving plays. And that's another thing as well you have to remember. It's like the Snapfire with Ag's Blink. You just go in, snowball, and suddenly the initiation falls flat. So that's going to be a massive tool for Boom if they're allowed to just kind of farm it up, and they are.
Adroit, what's the game plan here now for them, though? Now, what are they going to do here to come back in this game?
They've got to... it's a mix of things. So the farm is starting to lag behind, but not in a gigantic way. Like, the gap between Mac and Dreamercell is just about 3k, which is big, but not big enough, although.
Nico, he tried to go in for a quick iron shell on the creep wave and does not get it off. FBZ is there with a sad trombone to make sure that, you know, they do feel the pain of Nico right now. As they go back into the mid lane. With that creep wave, they can opt to try for high ground. They also have a double damage and a Grove Bond Dreamer Soul, so he has a lot of attack range right now.
Oh, wow. It's very fair.
It is fair, Jonathan. It definitely is very fair. How is it every Drow Ranger gets a Grove Bow, by the way? I swear, I can't remember the last time I saw a Drow not get Grove Bow. Like, when was that, really?
I have no clue. I have no clue anymore, but it just keeps coming out. They even get the blink out now for Kescute, so those saving plays are in. And tier 3 gone, they could go for around a map, go hunting.
Well, Makoto, he's on CML. Loves going after this Abaddon while the rest of his team just focusing on the rest of the team. Mac, he's trying to run to get a good RP off. He does jump in with a 2-man RP, and now MCY gets in with the tricks of the trade, and they do burst down the Drow Ranger. It's a great start here for the side of Adroit as they also catch out Kescute. Good stuff. Onto Makoto they go. Makoto is probably going to be all right. Hyde looks like he is out scot-free as well. But that was a very nice team fight, and it just kind of shows you the power of the RP once they do get it off.
Yeah, and that's why Boom was so cautious towards the high ground. They understand that these tight areas are not really want to fight. They got caught out in a bad spot, although.
Makoto was chasing CML that whole time. He's coming back for revenge now. He might actually get him this time as well, and he does. Makoto unstoppable, but a great gobble up play out from Boomy. Locking in two. FBZ's trying to run away in time, and it looks like he will make it. Meanwhile, Hyde will just try to TP and does get out. Boomy was checking the tree line, but it was not the correct tree line.
Just those sets of kills alone has given Adroit a good bounce back in. They're not quite out of the woods yet, but they managed to stall out long enough that the BKB is up in MCY, so the silence is not going to be as big of an issue. It's going to be able to focus in on the damage. And again, Boom, they are just so scared of fighting these tight spots. They have to be careful when they're chasing around like that because they were split up. They did not have Mikato around. He was chasing a different hero. They will have access to Roche, and this is where Adroit's kind of weak. While Wall's back up, but with no RP, they don't feel as secure in these fights, and Boom's just going to be able to abuse that.
Easy Roshan. No contest out from Adroit. Looks like they weren't even expecting this to be happening. So now Aegis and Cheese all on Dreamer Cell. They might try for a smoke here, Boom. Back no, Dreamer Cell, he'll just give the Cheese over to FBZ. Gets a few neutral items for his team. Because for the Drow, there's not exactly a tier 3 item that she wants, right? You've got the Grove, but what else do you need after that?
Nothing. For the most part, nothing. This is probably the best thing you could ask for the Drow anyway. So, gonna be sticking in. Maybe by tier 4s you swap it out for a Princess Knife or something. But otherwise, you're dancing with this. I don't know. Orb is okay, but I think the range is just so value for a hero like this. Allows him to safely siege. Now Adroit, they're playing it right once more. They're just on the high ground, constantly clearing out waves. They know Boom has to make the move up. Boom has to be the one to take the risk into the high ground. And Adroit are perfectly fine with that. They're not playing against Mega Creeps yet. They're not really struggling, at least in terms of getting into their camps for now. They have enough room on the map to just be comfy, and they don't need to force these big fights. I think Boom is also okay though, farming up like this. Like the Skadi for Dream Result's almost done. And once you've got that, you've got a lot more stats. You've got so much more slow. You're mitigating the healing that's coming out here with Nico. Some of that durability does go away. So that's going to be a great pickup for Dreamocell. They're also inching towards FBZ's BKB. It is just a few more gold out. Not too long left for that pickup. But Adroit also gets to pick up this blink on Nico. So there is follow-up to the RP. And can easily pop the wall. And Mac just, you know, he feels like he wants to do it.
Don't do it, Mac. I've seen people do that pump fake and mess it up. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Fun
It'll be alright. Smoke up, though. There you go. CML would be a pretty nice target for Makoto, and looks like that's what he wants. He'll leave FBZ to get it while Mac will get caught out by this Batrider, and he just melts. But what a back wall coming into the RP now from Mac. Is it gonna be enough? However, they are still fighting. Mac does die, but the gobble up is there in time, killing off at least the Aegis. Now Makoto goes MCY after Hyde, and Dreamcell has been left behind. He's trying to make a run for it. FBZ, he will kill off Boomy at least, but now he needs to protect Dreamcell, or maybe he just runs away. So Nico is still chasing. Hurricane Pike away, MCY coming in, but the Gust does not connect on the Ricky. Fusel Blade is out, Cheese eaten, but another nice vacuum is there. Dreamcell still just trying to run his way out of this situation, but Nico is not giving up. He's chasing him down. A nice Gust from Dreamcell is probably not going to be enough though. They still have the follow-up with the gobble up out from Boomy. They do kill him off. Onto Hyde now. Hyde's in trouble. He does barely TP away in time. That Ghost Scepter really saving his life. But the Vac Wall and RP coming out, and it does pan out.
Yeah, and again, Adroit, even at 10k behind, they're not quite out of it. They've got this amazing teamfight combo. They're actually landing it. So this is what happens. Like if you saw the Game 1 draft actually line up in the same way, you'd see the same struggles for Boom. It's just that this time Adroit can actually do it. They're enabled by Ricky, who can stand in front. MCY didn't even pop his BKB. Still got a 10-second charge, so they've got that for the next fight. And they're just doing fine. They're stalling out the high ground and really playing with that gobble up.
Yeah, they got into FBZ, forcing out that BKB charge, and FBZ is trying to run. Mac, Cookie, straight out onto that Shadow Demon will mean Hyde dies. MCY is starting to feel very strong in this game on the Ricky. Droid, they might be able to try and fight back now.
Yeah, it's their time to shine. Like the wall is up, RP's gonna be up in 5. They're timing it all perfectly. Boom needs to be a little bit more disciplined. It's down to the issue of who do you jump first with your lasso. They tried the Magnus, but they need to all focus in. They can't afford to split up and focus on CML and the Magnus. It needs to be one at a time. And it's just so hard when you have to worry about that aphotic shield purging off your lasso. And that's the real issue here.